What's the word? Tiger!
If I quit your realm, I still rap Mercedes home. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Hello everyone, Gregory here with me, Chris Brinkley. We are back for season number 3
Yay.
of the Skyhawk.
A new set, David.
Yes, a new set. Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast here, our very first episode. It feels good to be in the presence of the legend, Chris Brinkley.
Oh, and the same with the legendary Davis Gregory.
Stop it. We'll get into this week in Skyhawk Athletics.
I've been looking forward to this moment ever since March.
Ever since the last episode?
That's right.
Okay.
Actually, it wasn't March. It was
May.
like
April or May or something like that was the last episode. We continued it all for you all, our loyal fans, and we are back here again. So getting into this week in Skyhawk Athletics. First for cross country, they'll open up their season this Friday at the Redhawks Invitational in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Both teams running a 5K in that one. Soccer will be at Ole Miss on Thursday at 6 p.m. on SEC Network Plus, and then Sunday they will host Illinois State at 2 p.m. That one also will be on ESPN Plus. Volleyball, they will have their season opener on Saturday against Seton Hall and Nashville at noon, and then they'll take on former OVC school Belmont. That will be also in Nashville at 2 on ESPN Plus, and then wrapping up football this Thursday night at Oklahoma State at 6:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Skyhawk Sports Network will have the broadcast for you all, and we'll go live at 6 for pregame. Chris will be on the board. Chuck Hammer will be with me on the broadcast, and we are ready to go for another year, Chris.
Let's go. Season 3, Episode 1.
We'll go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we will have head coach Mike Varga of the UT Martin soccer team join us here on Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And we're back, Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast. Davis Gregory with Chris Brinkley, our first guest of the show, head coach of the UT Martin soccer team, Mike Varga, entering year number 3. He's been on every single episode of this podcast from his first year to now his 3rd year, and you're back with us. How do you like the new set, first of all, the chairs?
It's comfortable up here.
I know. It's a little bit more relaxed. I think my back is helping it too. You know? Like I feel my posture is going to get better because of this.
Great view of the stadium.
Yes, yeah. I mean, beautiful weather that we've had here today, and then also for the season as well. Also, some great crowds coming out for your team here this season to start out the year.
Yeah, no, we've had great community and student support, and the other teams have been wonderful. The ones that are on campus have showed up for our matches, and that's great when you can play in front of some people in the stands. It gives you a little more energy to play.
Yeah, 31st year overall for you. I mean, does it feel like it's 31 right now?
Yeah, I don't even think about that. It just makes me feel old when you say that.
But you started coaching young.
I think it was 12.
Out of the womb, you were coaching. You're already
That's
thinking
right.
about your formations and things and everything like that. What has changed, I guess, not just from year 3 to year 1 here at UT Martin, but that first year you started coaching to now here in Northwest Tennessee?
Yeah, I think, the first year it was hired and meet the team and let's get a season going. And then year 2, I felt like I had a decent year to recruit some players, and then we were unfortunate with some injuries. We didn't have the depth that we need, and then I feel this year had some time to bring in players, implement a style that I want to see us play, that I think the girls do very well. We'll score goals here at some point. But it's the team has bought in. They come with energy every day, whether it's a match, whether it's training, and that's what I want. I want athletics to enhance their experience, not take away from it at all. They need to enjoy it every day, and they're a great group. They work hard all the time.
What would you tell a first-year head coach at UT Martin? What would you tell them about the experience, the community, things like that, as they're about to embark on maybe their first season?
Well, I think for younger coaches, and I look back at when I started doing this too, I think sometimes you focus on some things that you think you need or you don't have. And I think it comes down to people and what you do have. And I think we have an incredible opportunity here at UT Martin with not just the people in the athletic department and support staff, and there's so many incredible people here, that from the community support that we have to the student body. And I think the student body can be extremely a big part of all our athletic programs. So I think this is a special place. And I think if we focus on that instead of, we're never going to have some of the bells and whistles that SEC schools have, but we're not competing against them on a day in, day out basis. We're playing Ole Miss, but we're not recruiting just someone that needs to have an eye retina scanner to come into our locker room.
the thumbprint to be able to access it.
Right.
The Batcave.
But it's finding the right people that want to be in a community like this and can have an incredible experience, because I think UT Martin can provide that for student athletes.
Yeah, you say something that's interesting to me, because I think part of being successful in life is being resourceful. But to be resourceful, you have to know what the resources available are. And in the last couple of years, you've totally learned that. And you've nailed it, I think, in just what you said.
I mean, I've been at a little bit larger school, but even there, we weren't funded well, and our locker room was a trailer, and there were cockroaches, and there, you could focus on that, and that drags the whole program down. Mm-hmm. You could always focus on what you do have, and once again, that's life, right? You have to focus on the positives and keep going forward all the time.
Yeah, life is what you make it. At the end of the day, Martin is what you make it. I mean, you've got to go out and you've got to be in the community, find some things to do and things like that, and you've done that.
What do you think about that? You're seeing the students obviously come to camp this summer, the difference between Martin in the summer and Martin whenever school's going on?
Well, it's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
But, it's when we get here, I think it's football's here, volleyball's here, and we're here. And there's not much going on campus, and I think that's a good way for our students to get acclimated to, especially our young ones. They sort of get the feel of campus. They don't have to wait for an elevator in the apartments or the dorms. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of positives, and then they get spoiled. And now, wow, there's a bunch of people around.
Yeah.
I have to wait in line for something, but it's now it's buzzing again, and it's great.
So another way that you've gotten involved with the student body, but also the faculty and staff at UT Martin, was you were an intramural legend for about, a game?
Maybe 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. So there was an intramural team that was assembled during soccer intramural season. When was this? What was the time period, the months?
Last spring at some point, maybe April.
Okay.
March.
Maddie Turlington, one of your assistant coaches, Lauren Smith, also recruited to be a part of this team. You joined, and in the first game, what was the final score?
I think it was we gave up a goal early.
Okay.
And they celebrated. And I didn't start the game. I was just watching, and I thought enjoy that, because now I'm going to sub on and we're going to create some things. But no, I think it ended up maybe 12-1. So
wow.
it's good they celebrated that one goal.
They celebrated it well. They had a lead at some point in time. How many goals did you have?
No, I scored 2, but I played 5 minutes.
That's not what it's Casey at the bat. It's Paul Bunyan. I mean, it's legendary. I heard you scored 9.
Yeah, I think I only touched the ball 3 or 4 times. I was trying, we have Corbin in the athletic department, and not the most experienced soccer player, but very energetic.
Yeah.
And I was trying my best to I said, stand still. You can close your eyes if you want. I'm going to try to hit it off you so it'll go in the goal and you can get a goal today.
You would get an assist, though, right?
That's right.
You would get a point on the stat sheet. So that's the goal, is just stand right there, and I'm just going to loft it over, hit the back of your head, and it'll go into the goal.
Yeah.
But then after this, in your 5 minutes of glory, then it was revealed that you and Maddie Turlington and Lauren Smith were then suspended because you had played.
Lauren got to play.
Oh, Lauren got to play. Okay. But you and Maddie both played professionally. And that's what got you? Is that what it was?
I guess they went back in the archives, got some microfiche out of the library, and saw that I had played at
Davis
some point.
does not know what that is.
Unbelievable. That they stopped who was going to be the greatest intramural soccer player at UT Martin. They stopped your experience.
I know. They kept me out of the emergency room, so I thank them for that.
So you didn't protest, or
it's all good. I could walk after that game, and I could walk away from my intramural career.
Did you were you ever going to games after that to support your former teammates?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I went and watched a couple times.
What did you think of who was the best player that you saw?
Oh, there's so many excellent players out there, from Jody to Corbin to, it's just the talent level.
Were you expecting this line of questioning in this
Not at all.
I told Chris before we came on, I was going to say, we have got a really good story that we got to bring up. Is Coach
He
Varga,
has on the notes, it says intramural lore, L-O-R-E.
Your lore.
I will tell you, so Maddie, when she was a senior, was I think number 3 goal scorer in the country in Division I, went on to play overseas. And she played probably a couple more minutes than me in that game and only scored 1 goal.
Oh.
I had 2, she had 1. So
okay.
we know.
Yeah, we know.
We know.
Yeah. There's nothing else needs to be said other than
All we have to do is get her on the podcast.
I know. We just got now. She has to tell her story about what happened in that first match. No one knows. We just have to bring the witnesses. There's no record of what happened. But no, that's the intramural lore of Coach Varga. Now we'll get to the team and into what you've got this year. You returned 20 players from last season, and you get multiple players back. I think this was huge from season-ending injuries last season. I think Allie Buckman was a big one there. Ava Huntrods, who's now starting, and so bringing back that many returners. I know that we've seen it in football and a lot of other sports, but the transfer portal has changed everything in terms of who's returning and things like that. But for you to get 20 players back, that's huge.
Yeah, I think the experience of these players, the leadership of the players that we have that have played for a couple years, it's been wonderful, and to have players, Allie, you mentioned Ava, that are both solid in the midfield for us. But then you also have Asia, who's played good minutes for us, and Joe, who's back. They've done very well. So it's good to have them back. It's good to have the year of experience of the players that were freshmen last year, and we have some young players, some freshmen this year they're going to be. I think they're better than they think they are right now, and they'll figure that out.
First 3 matches under your belt, 3 draws. What have you liked from this team to start out this season?
Well, I like that we're not giving up goals. I felt like even the Arkansas State goal that we gave up, and we've given up the one on the year, was an avoidable goal for us. But we're creating chances. We're just not putting them in the back of the net yet. I'd much rather create chances and figure out how to put them in the net than to figure out how to create chances.
Yeah.
So, but we've been dominant in possession, which if we have the ball, the other team can't score. Pretty simple. And we have some players that are special that'll find their way and start to create even more problems for our opposition. But we've limited the opponent's good chances, and then when they have had opportunities, Mac has been very good in goal. So I think defensively we've been very good. In transition defensively, we've been very good. The area we've got to get better is that attacking third of the field where we can put in that final product and score some goals.
Do you have a standard goal with the time of possession with every team, or does it just vary?
I think there's a combination of some things. I think it's important for us to have more possession than the other team. That's one of our goals. We didn't always have that last year. I think last night's game, I think we were probably close to 70% possession. And when they won it, they would give it right back. And we did a pretty good job defending to win it back. There's some other stats inside the game that I look for. We want to complete probably 75% of our passes. We don't want to just give the ball away. And then we want to put the majority of our shots on target to make the keeper make saves. And obviously the important stat is we want to put a pretty good number of those in the back of the net. And but I think all those together sort of lead into our style and how we want to play.
Last one for you. You've got a couple players from England on the team. Ava, one of them, and Millie, two. Can you do a British accent?
I can't.
You can't?
No, I can say cheers. Cheers. That's about it.
No tea and crumpets or anything like that?
No, I mean, I've been fortunate to go over there a few times, and I've. It's funny because our players will always give their accent around Ava and around Millie, and it's not always very good.
No. Look, I've learned, I do voiceover work, so what people don't realize is with the British accent, there are 30. Just like East Tennessee is different than Middle Tennessee, that's different than West Tennessee, that's different than North Carolina, that's different than Georgia, that's different than Alabama, that's different than Southern Mississippi. So when most people do a British accent, they get it wrong.
Yeah. I think there's some terminology like tomato and basil.
Yeah.
and things like that.
What
but
was the second? What'd you?
basil instead of basil,
Oh,
the spice.
I have not heard that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Aluminium instead of aluminum.
I did
How
not
about
know
that?
that one.
So yeah, just some of those. Just some of those I know how they say words, but yeah, my accent. If you go like what you said, if you go to Liverpool, it's different than London and in different areas. So yeah, it's much different. So some areas, even hard to understand.
Yeah. Have you ever had trouble communicating?
No, not when I've been in England. I mean, when you go further into Scotland, areas like that, then sometimes you need a
thicker.
translator.
Yeah, it's a little thicker.
What did you say? Well, Coach, thanks so much for your time. Hey, good luck here in this upcoming week. Ole Miss and then also Illinois State as well. We'll see you on Sunday.
Awesome. Thank you.
We'll go ahead and take a break. Keep it right here on Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
Back on Skyhawk Sports Talk, Davis Gregory with Chris Brinkley. Now joining us is the all-time winningest coach in UT Martin's D1 history, entering her 11th year here for the Skyhawks, Jaclynn Wilson.
God,
Coach,
that's a long time.
11 years. Yeah.
Gosh. I mean, it's a great
should I have
place to
said
be.
11?
No,
Okay.
it's great. It's this community, the university. I love being here. I definitely, that was, when I got here, I didn't envision being here this long, and
Well, your life completely changed.
it did,
Yeah.
And I have had some other opportunities, but this has been where our family wants to be, and we love it here. So, but 11, wow.
11. Yeah.
Yee.
We asked Coach Varga this question. I want to ask you it, since you've been here at UT Martin longer, if you were going to tell a first-year coach anything about UT Martin, what to do and how to get in the community and how to really enjoy Martin, what would you say?
Get involved in the community. I think, my husband has helped a lot with that because we joke that he's the unofficial mayor of Martin. It was very overwhelming when we started dating. I feel like we can't go anywhere where everybody doesn't know him.
And have known him since he was born.
Right, yes. It's not Paul, it's Paul Ryan, if
That's right.
anybody sees him, or PR,
I think I remember when he was born, and he's not that much younger than I am. Yeah, but.
Yeah. I think, I think just learning to appreciate it is a really special place. I think when you get here, you don't, usually a first year coach, especially here, this may be not your end dream or the end goal. For me, the dreams and goals have changed, and I love I wouldn't change anything, but I think just appreciating the community and getting involved, and the more you're involved in the community, the more support you're going to feel. And, I think just getting out, and obviously it's not a big town, but there's a lot of great places here. I say all the time, we have great local food places, and, whenever we leave town, we'll be in Nashville and trying to get out of a parking lot for 15 minutes. And I'm like, take me home. It's just
Country
with
roads.
traffic doesn't exist here.
Oh, yeah.
And you can be, anywhere cross town in 5 minutes. And, but
Yeah, actually, today coming in to do the podcast, I hit 3 red lights and 4 crosswalks, and I was complaining, and I thought that's nothing compared to what
I know.
Yeah.
You get spoiled. I lived in Los Angeles for a while. And
Did you really?
And this is just nothing.
Yeah.
You get so accustomed to it. But that's also weather. I'm from the north, and I'm a sissy when it's cold. So, and everyone's like, "But you're from the north." I'm like, "Well, my blood's gotten thin, and I'm a Southern girl now." So.
When you were in Los Angeles, was that when you were playing professional?
No, that was when I lived out in Arizona. Was my little stint with the professional league. Los Angeles was I did a post-grad internship with Fox News.
I
and
knew that, yeah.
Yeah, and I worked with the entertainment department there and got to do Grammys, Oscars, movie premieres, a lot of the red carpet events. So you didn't see my face, but usually my hand with a mic. And it was a really, really cool experience, but not near as glamorous as you think. I mean, when you're standing in heels, dressed up on the side of a red carpet for 8 hours, there's a reason they send interns to do it, but it was, nonetheless, I got to meet some really great people. Garth Brooks was one of my favorite one-on-one interviews, and it was just a really cool experience right out of college.
Yeah. Do you have pictures of all that?
So I do.
Yeah.
I do. I have some old videos, but I don't know where they are. I know they're in a box somewhere, but
Need to go into the archives.
I need to try. I do have some like all my passes, like the all access
cool.
passes
Yeah.
to a lot of the events, and
It is
yeah.
really neat, though, to be behind the scenes, but it's not glamorous. It looks glamorous on TV, but it's really not.
right.
Yeah.
I know. I always thought if I did it, I'd want to be in front of the camera,
Yeah.
but
And that's not always glamorous either.
no, still, a lot of long days. Absolutely.
Who's the most famous person you've ever met, Davis?
That I've ever met?
Yeah.
I almost met Hulk Hogan.
Whoa. That's
He said I
ridiculous.
almost. That's good. That is pretty cool.
I was.
I still cannot believe he died.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Hulkster.
I know my sister was in town during that time. My brother, we have an older brother, so we grew up playing wrestling, with his little wrestling dummies and getting beat up on by he and his friends and doing all the wrestling moves. But Paul and my sister were both just devastated.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was sad about it. I still can't believe it, but it was just something they couldn't get over. So
A true legend.
How did you almost meet him?
So, do y'all remember the movie Dolphin Tale?
yes,
Do your kids watch Dolphin Tale?
I think they have.
Okay.
Yes.
So Dolphin Tale, it was about this dolphin that lost her tail and then was still alive after they made the movie and everything like that. So my dad took me to, it was in Clearwater, Florida, at the animal hospital that they have there. So I went there and we were just going to go see the dolphin. Winter, I think was her name. And we walk up and my dad goes, "Oh my gosh, it's Hulk Hogan." And I look, and he didn't say it like loud, but like Hulk Hogan was probably from me to, the table that's maybe right behind the camera.
Yeah.
We were pretty close to Hulk Hogan. And I don't know why, but I just freaked and just like started crying.
Stop it.
Out of nowhere, I just started crying, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to meet him." And my dad was like, "Okay, you're making a scene," like walking me over. He's like, "Davis, why did you cry? Why are you not wanting to meet Hulk Hogan?" I was like, "I got scared. I don't know.
So funny.
I thought he was gonna leg drop me."
I think, and I hope I'm not saying the wrong person, but I think Ric Flair,
Oh, yeah. Blonde hair.
Nature Boy, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Nature Boy.
Yes, okay. It's crazy. I know that, but his daughter, I think her name was Ashley, but she played volleyball, and so I would see him out at club volleyball tournaments.
Yeah.
And it was hard to, not recognize him. It was
Very
just-
cool.
Yeah,
Of course.
so-
He had the hair. He was the nature
Yeah.
boy.
Woo!
Yeah. Woo.
Did you ever give him a woo when you saw
I
him?
didn't.
Oh.
I didn't. I know. My brother would be disappointed. My brother had like a robe that looked like his with the.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think for the home opener, could you come out in like a Nature
the-
Boy robe?
I mean, I could.
There's a possibility.
I could.
Anything's possible.
Hey, we pack those stands. I mean, we can. I'll
The-
come out in some kind of costume.
Yes.
I love it.
Coaching anything. Okay, so getting into this season coming up, all of you see second teamer Kylie Surratt. She's back. Also, preseason player to watch, Caleb Bryant, part of this team that returns 9 players, and you welcome in 6, just completing here preseason practice. I know you had your scrimmage against a very good Southern Illinois team recently. And what have your thoughts been on this team?
The girls are working really, really hard. We're young. We're super, super young. I love the energy with a young team right now. They're excited to learn. Their bodies are fresh, and they probably would tell you something different right now coming off of preseason. But the vibes in the gym, it's just a very different year, and I'm very excited about that. I'd be lying if, having a young team getting ready to go into competition and that it wasn't a little nerve-wracking, because we do have a lot of work to do, and I really believe we will get where we need to be, and we need to do that before conference and use these first 4 weekends to help us prepare. I thought at this point I'd have a little bit clearer vision of exactly who's going to be in that starting lineup, and in the best way, I don't. There's a couple key positions right now where it's a little back and forth, but not because someone's not getting the job done, but they're just really challenging each other. And so I'm excited about that. We've got a few freshmen who I don't think today are ready, but 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, I think could be stepping in and playing, key roles. And that's exciting. But we have our work cut out as a coaching staff to make sure, we've got 6 freshmen and get them where we need to.
And when you look at some of those freshmen that they come in, and obviously they're very nervous. They're making a transition from the high school game into the college game a lot faster, and I feel like a lot more to learn in terms of game plans and things like that. For you and for your coaching staff, when do you see a freshman? Like, when does it click? Is it right before conference? Like, for Kylie, for instance, I mean, was there a time where you thought, like, she just needs more reps, and then boom, she's got it?
I think it's different person to person, you know, and I think, you know, part of that's a personality thing and an experience thing, you know, depending what level of club they've played and on what stage. And for Kylie's just a special kid. I mean, I could have told you last year during preseason, you know, she was going to play a huge role for us, and we're really excited about her. And you know, I don't think she's found her full stride this year, but she worked her tail off over the summer, and she came in great shape and is being a big vocal leader for us this year, which is really cool to see out of her. You know, we want that for her, being, you know, a key player for us. But I'll be excited to see her catch that stride. You know, we have some freshmen. Definitely, we felt it against SIU. We have 12 underclassmen, 3 upperclassmen. And, you know, even we have Mia, we've got 2 more years with her, but she had to medically redshirt last year. You know, that's the first game she's played in an entire year. You know, so you have a bunch of new players on the court, people who haven't, you know, she probably had some nerves going into that too. You know, she'd been out with an injury all season. And so I am really glad we had an exhibition game this year. We haven't done that in, I don't know, 8 years, 9 years, long time. And I think having a younger team, that's really going to pay some dividends over these next couple weekends.
And again, I think it was the same as 2023. There's a long, and it might have been last year too, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no home games for the longest stretch of time.
I know.
And the travel and things like that. But I feel like that's also a good time for your team to come together and really galvanize and be around each other during that time.
It is. You know, we try to host a preseason tournament at least every other year. It's just not real easy, you know, unless you work into these contracts for teams to return and whatnot, which we do. So hopefully we'll get one back here next year. But it is hard to be on the road that long. We'll definitely be really excited to come home. I think we're home September 30th against Little Rock is our first, and it's a midweek. So, and that's the beginning of conference play. We've got SEMO before that at SEMO. It is going to be a long stretch here. You know, I was just talking to my husband about that. I'm like, here we go. Yeah. You know, 3 of our first 4 tournaments, we're relatively close. You know, we're in the Nashville area twice. We're at Memphis. And then we're going to be down at Mercer, get to see my best buddy Jen. I'm so excited. But we will be relatively close. And we did that strategically to try not to, you know, crush ourselves getting ready for conference. And, you know, with the girls starting classes this week, it starts to get it's tough on them. And
the one thing it definitely does is makes you stronger, but at the same time you want confidence when you get back home and start conference season.
For sure. Yeah. And it's such a balance. And we've scheduled really, really tough schedules in the past. I think we always play a pretty tough preseason. But I've always felt it's really good to play tough competition. And I will never change like my point of view on that. But there have been years that it has really hurt our confidence. And, you know, you hope for the other. You know, I want us to gain confidence. I want us to feel prepared going into conference. I want to get to conference and those teams not be as hard as what we've been playing so that we feel prepared. But I definitely have been on the other side of that a time or two and maybe wished I would have.
But no, based on your
scheduling,
scheduling, you're definitely not worried about your career record. Cause
I know. Last year, I didn't even know that was happening until they announced it. I had no idea. And I kind of laughed. I was like, well, we could have done that a long time ago if I would have thought about scheduling. But no, you're absolutely right. I don't take that into consideration at all. I think whatever we can do to prepare our girls and to give our student athletes good experiences. And I think playing at different venues is neat. And it's still on my bucket list to take the team to Nebraska at some point if they'll have us. But I think if as a player, as a coach, I think it would be just incredible to have that opportunity to play in front of that many fans, and their fans are great fans. Even
is it
for
hard
opposing
to
teams.
get on their schedule?
I don't think it's easy. It's I mean, and
a lot of people want that experience.
For sure, a lot of people want that experience, and they're always going to be at the top ranking wise, but they take a lot into consideration with rankings, and so they've got to play certain RPI teams and stuff of that. So a lot plays into it, but maybe we'll get out there.
Cool. Yeah, maybe so. Nebraska, maybe a future opponent. We'll see what happens. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Hey, and good luck here in this upcoming season.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
We'll go ahead and sign off here. Take a break, rather, here on Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
Back on Skyhawk Sports Talk, Davis Gregory with Chris Brinkley. Now joining us from the UT Martin cross country team, it's assistant coach Anthony Palacio, as UT Martin is about to start their season this Friday against SEMO in the Red Hawks Invitational. Thanks so much for joining us, Coach Tony.
Yeah, first one of the year. Glad to be here.
Yes. How do you feel about? We've been asking all of the guests how you feel about the new set. We these comfy chairs that we've got right now.
The chairs are nice. Yeah, and the backdrop, nice. A lot more air, a lot more.
You're a
lights.
fan. Yeah, you're a fan of the new set. We appreciate that. We love it. This upcoming year, it's an exciting one for your bunch for cross country.
Yeah, it's this is my 5th year here now, so it's my first year without the people who I came in with. The seniors and
that's true.
Some of Sam Schumann, Rita Eimer, all of them. Like they're gone, so it's a new leaf, and everything's kind of turning over. People who've been getting older and getting better each year. Really excited for the women's group. Bringing in 8 freshmen is very nerve-wracking, but it's, exciting to see. It's a good group so far. I'm really excited to see how they go. The guys, have just been getting better and better each year, and we got to stay healthy this year, and that's our number one priority, and we should be in a great spot to go challenge for the OVC.
Yeah, and that's one of the first things I had. You got 16 returners on this team, 11 of which are on that men's side. We talk about Keegan Enix and Angus Monroe also, but, Maggie Roy has put together some really good cross-country seasons too. So among those returners, there's a lot of talent there too, even with that large amount of freshmen on the women's side.
Yeah, even one that didn't raise conference last year is Luke Johnson, who's a 10K medalist, a second team cross country a couple of years ago, and he's a senior now, so it's throwing him back into it. 11 returners, but we also added Will Douglas from Alabama, who went to Camden, which was great. Very excited for him. He's been running really well. Maggie, we just had a meeting with her, and she's tired of not getting all conference, and after being conference champion in the 800, after getting second in the mile in track for indoors and outdoors, she's ready to, not let that affect her anymore. She's ready to go and get after it. And Reese coming back, Danielle coming back, just a really, really good group. And I think their head's in the right spot. It's knowing that we have the capability to do it. They've seen the success ahead of them, and that's always kind of been something with UTM is the guys, the freshmen when I first got here, they saw the success of Ryan Ford. They saw the success of Asheen. They saw the success of Luke McNair, of Hudson. And now it's up to, especially for the girls' side, for how young they are, to see, Maggie got to see Rita. She got to train with Rita. She got to see all of that. The girls get to train with Danielle and Reese and Maggie and Gabby, and it's just pushing all of them forward where, the standard is just so much higher now, and it's very rewarding to see that and see that they've just been elevated the entire time and enjoy it. And
you've created a culture, and with that, the standard is higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but by design.
Yeah. Bringing in the right people has been important. Bringing in the group that I try to keep things light and, enjoyable and fun, and, some of that's how I dress with orange shorts and meats and everything. And it's nice to know that, it's getting passed along now, and the guys are right where they need to be, and the girls are right where they need to be, and it's just very, very fun to know that we can go and have depth in a lot of more events. We can have people that are challenging in different events. We have people that are going to get pulled along in workouts. It's not like a single person here, single person there, single person there. It's group of 3, group of 5, group of 3, really, really nice to just see, in the time that I've been here, this is already a weekend like the most enjoyable women's team. So
Yeah, talk about here some of the local talent. You mentioned Camden. I think there are 3 Camden guys on the team this year, and then I think you also have Greenfield on the women's side. Talk about having that group together and what you've seen from Northwest Tennessee and the talent over here for cross country.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's always an interesting sport out here because football and basketball are always going to be a bit higher. But we have Ridge, the 2 Douglas brothers, Will and Pete, and then Colton from Huntington, and then we've got Brinkley from Greenfield. I know we have a few on the track side too from Dyersburg or Jackson. I think it's been a while since almost half our team on the men's side is from Tennessee as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's really nice, just trying to, always keep eyes open, traveling to some of the meets around here, just going out there, talking with the coaches, even, some of the Westview meets out there, just kind of seeing, the regional meets, talking to people, just really nice to see that, as an option for that. And it's, one thing to be an option for, runners that may, graduate from there and may not be the fastest in their, state or in their group or anything, but to have, Will Douglas want to come back here, to have, Colton and, Ridge was a state champ, and, even Brinkley and all of them have been running really well, but it's they want to come here. And I think that's been a really big changing point of we're getting the people that we want, and they want to come here and enjoy here and, be successful.
Right. It's not just a second option or, I'll finish my career there and it'll be done. There's a desire between both parties of we want you here, you want to come here. And, I mean, I feel like that's from everything that you've brought up. I mean, the foundation that we just talked about. Let's get into how those 8 freshmen have come on the team, because it's been those veterans, how you've been able to build up this foundation as the veterans have helped the freshmen come in and feel a part of the team and then grow and get faster and see their times, break new PRs and things like that. How have the vets taken them in on that women's side? And then also the men's team. I know the Douglas brothers are new, but still, how have those veterans brought in these newcomers?
I think the biggest thing with, our program as a whole has always been let's bring you in, let's help you get faster, and, however long that takes. And I think the patience aspect is going to be really big of hey, let's just go in, do the workouts, trust the training, weights, core, hurdle mobility, strides, race plans, all of that. If we're doing it consistently, continually, and, the times will get faster. It's not a, you have to do, all these crazy things. It's just, you come in, you do the work, you have fun, you enjoy it, and, the goal is always to get faster, but doing it in due time in your own way. It's not a, it's not a perfect alleyway. I always say there's a highway, my training or designs or, my input's always a highway. Each person comes in and out and what they want to do, what they want to achieve, it all comes out somewhere. But even with the guys, the guys are a lot easier because Will wants to do really well here just as much as Pete does. And he has a training group. He has the, a higher priority here in terms of just getting him along, making sure he wants to race and get everything he wants to achieve here. And, just as much as, again, being from an hour away, wanting to, I know, pretty sure his dad went here, wanting to say that he can have the success here and have the team to do it, not just a one-off kind of a one guy.
Yeah. Last question for you. Could Chris and I get some orange shorts?
Funnily,
or pants?
So
would you rock orange pants?
Maybe.
Okay, all right. I'll take a maybe.
So funnily enough, I actually just ordered new orange shants. They're
shants?
Golf.
I have
I've never heard of shants
That's a real
before
term
in my life.
That's your term?
I've heard it before.
Okay.
It's not necessarily my term, but they're golf in England. They go down to here with the high socks. So I actually just ordered a pair of that this morning.
Are you gonna do the high socks or no socks?
It came with socks.
Oh, it was a comp.
Yeah.
So on our next podcast, where you're the
You have
guest,
to wear the
you have
shorts.
to wear those.
With the socks.
Yeah.
Have you tried them on?
No, I was showing them to Luke Johnson this morning in our meeting,
And Luke said,
yeah. Well, he was like, I had a new orange polo come in, so I was trying to see what to put on it, and then I was like, well, I can't go full orange all the time, so.
yeah.
But I did need new shorts, so I had seen the shants before, and
What color are those socks?
there's two pairs. One's like orange, white, and black. The other's
It
like
just keeps
orange and
getting
blue.
better.
It also comes with like the orange like golf hat. So
Yeah, this is great.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, we need some shades.
Is this Amazon or some
Yeah, it was
specialty
Amazon.
store? Okay. all
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah, so
And you like the material and
we'll see.
okay.
We'll see.
We'll
It's a
get
blind order.
Coach Tony's Chance review on the next podcast
Yeah.
episode. Your next
You might
appearance.
see me if there's pictures from SEMO. If they come in on time, I might wear them for
Oh,
SEMO.
yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Great,
Good.
great. We'll get some pictures up on that. Well, Coach Tony, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thanks
and
for
good luck
having
here
me.
on the season.
Thank you.
We'll go and take another break. Keep it right here on Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
And we're back at Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory with Chris Brinkley. Wrapping up our final guest of the show, head coach of the UT Martin football team, Jason Simpson, about to start his 20th season here at UT Martin on Thursday night against
20?
Oklahoma State.
2-0.
Wow. 2 decades.
2-0.
So, golly, it's going by fast.
Yeah.
Chris looks the same after all these 20 years. You wasn't even born.
Yeah.
You know, so I can just get it out of my system. I was told 12:30. I'm going to repeat it again. I know I told you off there. It's 12:45. All right. Okay. I've been able to be a head coach for 20 years because I stay on task. Okay. So when you put me 15 minutes behind, you affected not only me but 100-something other guys in the program. All right. So yeah, you know, let's stay on task. That's
Okay.
all.
All right. First episode. I just got to get back into the system. I promise to be better. I promise.
You got your nice shoes on, so
Yes, I did.
I know you're ready to
noticed
go.
his shoes earlier. Yeah. Look at
Well,
them.
you know what? Now that I'm 54, okay, you know, let's face it, Jerry Carpenter's one of the best dressers around here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very, you know, hip to, you know, trends and stuff. But obviously I see you shop at Skechers with him. And that's okay. I've got a pair too. I'm 54.
They're comfortable, right?
You know, but when you're your age, you may want to give it a little while before you get back to the Skechers.
You weren't this funny 20 years ago.
You know,
I bring the worst out in it.
no,
is
you
what
bring
it
the
is.
best out of me. You bring the best out of me.
Well, I guess so. Well, first of all, thanks so much for joining us and,
Yes.
and accepting the delay.
Thank
I
you.
apologize.
Thank you.
We'll get you on here now. So,
right.
gunning for a fifth straight conference championship, back-to-back playoff appearances for the
Right.
first time in school history. I mean, throughout all these years and everything like that, I know excitement kind of goes up and down. I know I talked to you earlier about this in fall camp, but your excitement level for this first game, where's that at? Is it the same as when you started coaching all those years ago? Is
It's
it different?
No, it's different. It's different from, you know, you know all the things that you have to have covered and in place, you know, to to have some success, right? You know now after going through trials and error of things of what has to be done. You know, what I think gives you confidence. I hope that gives our staff and our players confidence. But on the flip side, you also know, you know, is your team ready? You know, are you far enough along before you play a quality opponent, you know, game one? So, you know, that can create some anxiety, and then you try to get those things fixed. So, no, it is different. It's significantly different. You know, I can't remember the last time we started at home. You know,
Long time.
this long time. So we're used to being on the road. Someone asked me, okay, does Thursday night affect you? No, because you're coming out of camp and you know, you really don't even know what day it is. You know, so today is a Wednesday practice to us, like if it was a normal week, even though it's a Monday. So no, but we came to camp on July 28th. So here it's August 25th.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been a long time. There's a lot of walkthroughs and a lot of practices. So this team is ready to. We need to see what we are. We need to see things we need to improve on. We need to see, you know, if our personality that I've seen in practice, if those traits carry on into a game when you face adversity or handling success. So, no, it's time to go.
I have to ask you, I don't want to delay the interview, but we've had unseasonably hot temperatures around here. You had to deal with that in camp. Was it the worst you had to deal with the heat in your 20 years?
Yes and no, because, we alter our schedule. We go practice at night.
Yeah.
And, 7 o'clock, it's not so bad. Out here the sun's down, but the walkthroughs, right at the end of walkthroughs every day, that turf heats up, pretty good. So we limit that. We go from 9:30 to 10:30, but around 10 o'clock, that turf heats up really good. So no, but if we would have forced it and practiced in the afternoons, it would have been very tough. It wouldn't have been a good teaching and repetition environment. So we altered it, but it was hot. It sure was.
Now, I got one last one before we get into the team. Why do you love football? You've done this for so long, and to do something so long, you have to love it.
Yeah.
Why do you love this game so much?
I like the X's and O's of it. Okay, the strategy of new plays and making the men move on the screen, right? I like the development of players, seeing the improvement from one year to the next, or beginning of the season to the end of the season, seeing kids sacrifice and giving them a journey, give them a map to the journey for them to have individual success. And then I enjoy the pageantry of college football. It's year 30 for me overall coaching, and the band was in town this week, right? Getting their camp going, and you hear the band. And they're practicing on the practice field over here, and as we're going to practice, and it's kind of like it was in high school, right? Even as a player, right, when the band was practicing behind the stadium and stuff. I enjoy I don't get to watch it very much, right? But college game day and the ESPN ticker and seeing the scores at the bottom of it, and think about how much the media coverage and different thing that goes on through the week of college football, the different articles that are written and stories and stuff, and probably some of the same reason you do, the traditions. I got to go to Notre Dame this summer with Graham, and as he went to camp there, and and see that storied program and stuff. So I think those three reasons are the thing. And then and at my age, right, I can't play anymore, so it also gives you that's how I compete. Mm-hmm. And our team, was it good enough, to win as you compete? So all those things combined, I don't necessarily think, I don't know if it's, the actual sport of it, although I do think it's an unbelievable life lesson teaching sport, right? Because of 11 people that are sacrificing, and you got 5 of them that never get to touch the football, right? After the snap. And they still choose to play it. I mean, I've always been enamored, with that and those offensive linemen. But and there's other sports that I'm fans of as well. But I think all those reasons combined.
I will say, years ago when I would interview you in the Bob Carroll building, a lot of times you would be with your assistant coaches watching film.
Right.
And I felt like you were like a fish in water in that situation.
I enjoy that.
People don't get to see that side of you.
Yeah.
But it's almost like time didn't matter. And the way you were interjecting what you saw, incorporating your coaches, like I could tell, like you're an extreme strategist who just loves that part of it. And watching the opponent's game film, I think, is what excites you the most.
Well, I've been around some good coaches over the years that teach me things every year. Going back all the way back to Jeep Wade. And how he dissected the blitzes and the tendencies and stuff, and then now being with Kevin Bannon all these years, and Danny, quarterback coach, and Nick Cochran, our receiver coach, they do a great job with the coverages and the strategies of giving our players the exact look that we project that we're going to get based off the percentage of times they've done it, versus certain formations throughout the years, and which routes give our quarterback the best chance to be successful against those coverages out of those different formations and stuff. So, no, I certainly, we do it as a group effort. I have to surround myself, with quality coaches, and like I said, we do it as a team. But that is the fun part of the day, and other things like being late to interviews prevent me from being able to do that.
Next question.
What's the counter up to? 5-0 now or something like that?
Yeah.
Just
You're
right
gonna
off the
get
bat.
shut out.
Oh, this is going to be bad. This is going to be so bad.
Yeah.
So 17 starters gone from a year ago. However, the returners that do come back, they have played some significant snaps. I think of guys like Josiah Tingley, Jamichael McGoy. You bring those guys back. How nice is it to have guys that already know the system? I know a coordinator change on the defensive side, but Joe especially, I mean, he knows practically what you're going to say before you say it, or what type of play or where you want the ball spotted, things like that.
No, you're right. No, first of all, I would like to have the 21 team and the 24 team and this year's team. I'd like to have all those kids together and combined. That would be I would like to watch that group compete. But no, it is, and it's a different deal to where, you know, once the season started and those kids have graduated and moved on to other programs, you know, you don't really think about it anymore, right? Until you said 17 starters, and it kind of made me queasy a little bit. But no, you're right. I've done that research on it. It's exactly right. But you just don't have time to feel bad about it. But no, we are fortunate to have guys like Josiah, and there's a lot of those returning guys on an offensive line. So we've got to lean on those guys heavily. There's a lot of guys that have played for us in the secondary that are returning that are good players. So we got to lean on that group, and then, you know, the newness comes, like, you know, and, you know, in that core 7 of the defense, there's new faces, and then at the receiver position, a lot of new faces. So there's still question marks. Now I've seen some very quality things on the practice field for 25 practices. So now we just got to go and translate it on Saturdays.
Yeah, I want to talk about your new starting quarterback, Jace Bauer from Sam Houston State. He transfers in, also spent time at Central Michigan. And tell us a little bit about Jace. What about his game impresses you?
You know, Jace is very consistent. You know, great character, and I don't say that lightly. If you're around him 5 minutes, he's just very John Wayne-ish. Okay, he doesn't say a whole lot. He doesn't bring any negative attention to himself. You can kind of just see his confidence, but courteous at the same time of how he treats people. You know, very strong with his faith. Okay, just outstanding from that standpoint. Okay, from a player standpoint, very studious. You know, is a son of a coach. Right, his dad's a high school coach. He's experienced. He's played a lot of games at Central Michigan, played a few games at Sam Houston State. So, you know, he's an older player and has experience. You say, what does he do the best? Okay, I think he's just operates. Okay, he's you'll see Saturday when he takes off and run. He can move. Okay, and he gets to full speed. You know, 1 or 2 steps. All right, and so his you know, close area quickness is pretty good. His overall speed is very good. He's a very accurate passer. You know, and I would be very surprised. We haven't hit him since he's been here, right? All right, they're in different colored jerseys, all right. But he has some toughness to him. He you know, will be able to play 11 on 11. Okay, it'd be different from when like Dresser was here. You know, probably more in the Keon world. Okay, back in 21 with what we did with Keon Howard and stuff. But those are things I expect from Jace. Okay, he's a quiet leader. Okay, but when he does say things, the kids respond because he's very serious and very competitive.
This season, I mean, the start. It's talking about it before the season started and just throughout camp. This is a rough start to the season. Is this the toughest start to a season that you can remember at your time?
Yeah, we've had 2 SEC games before. Okay. But this 5-game stretch is, I've never had them 5 in a row like this.
And I forgot about the 5th one about this.
Yeah. I mean, so when you go 3 of the first 4 are you know, guarantee games as we call them, okay? 3 of the first 4 are on the road, okay, obviously. And then your first conference opponent is quality SEMO, Southeast Missouri. So, no, it will be challenging. Okay, you got 2 flights coming up in 2 weeks. You're going to UTEP the next week. Southern Illinois, you know, with their quarterback back. The transfer from Murray that got hurt last year. You know, Missouri Valley opponent, then Missouri State, and then, you know, Southeast Missouri. So, no, it is. And how we handle it, it's very easily to say, oh, if you could, you know, you go 5-0, you go 3-2, you come out of that stretch, right, and you get into the last part, you know, of your schedule. That's, you know, I don't know. All I can do is get ready for this Oklahoma State game and then see where we are when we come back, and then we'll regroup, for next week. But I did have a conversation with the seniors and say, okay, we'll be better, as we go week from week. This team will get better. And, so with that, you have to show the maturity of okay, we're going to be held accountable, as we say every year, for those conference games as from playoff opportunities. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you could have a great win one of these next 2 weeks, right, or both weeks, and that still doesn't get you in the playoffs. Okay, that still doesn't get you where you want to go for a 5th conference championship. So, or you cannot play well, right, and and your record's not what you want it to be. Once again, your fate is not this long season and stuff. So that we'll have to have some senior leadership, whether you have success or don't have success, and just go 1 week at a time and until we keep improving.
I want to talk about your opponent now.
Mm-hmm.
This Thursday, Oklahoma State. Coach Gundy's been there, I think now 21 years.
Yeah, I think it may be 20.
It may be 20.
I may be wrong, but I thought I read something the same year, but I might be wrong.
Well, either way, I mean, both of you have 20 years of head coaching experience at your same school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for Oklahoma State and you previewing them, what sticks out to you? Because they're also, I feel like, in our position where there's a lot of new on their football team.
Well, really, because we're so new, and I'm sure just like them, they probably didn't spend a whole lot of time on us. We didn't spend a whole lot of time on them, to be quite honest with you. You go back to who their coordinators are. They've got a new defensive coordinator, Todd Grantham, who we played against when he was at Florida, right? So there was no need to watch Oklahoma State cut-ups from last year. They were not as successful on defense as they want to be, and obviously they made a change at the coordinator. So, so it's weird watching an opponent and you're not watching the different color jerseys as you're looking at the X's and O's of it. So that's different for us, but I do have a lot of respect. I think I've only talked to Coach Gundy one time in my career, and nice guy, but to be at a place, at that level for 20 years and have success. And, there was a stretch run there, I think, in the mid 2000s, right? They were playing at a very high level and winning 10, 11 games and competing at the highest level. So, and he's been able to do it with, kind of similar to this program, right? People would go in there and raid as coordinators and take them out, and they would go to different places, but it still stayed consistent. So, obviously, I have played coach there one time.
Okay.
Right, when I was at Texas State, Southwest Texas, we played there, so the sidelines are real, right there on top of you, and the crowd's right there on top of you. It's a pretty neat venue.
Yeah, I think it just got voted the #1 college football venue in the country recently.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I don't know who
What's
votes
it hold? What's it? Is it 50?
I think it's 50-something.
Yeah.
It might be pretty similar to Kansas State.
Yeah, it's right there on top of you for sure.
Yeah, from this past season. Coach Gundy, and obviously the success and everything that comes with it, he's also got the mullet. Do you think that you could grow a mullet?
I couldn't pull that off. Okay? I couldn't pull that off, so I do give him credit to where – he's had some different looks over the years, so give him credit. And he was a good player.
So in the 90s, you never had a mullet?
No, I've had the same haircut since the 3rd grade.
Really?
Okay, my boys make fun of me for that. So pretty consistent when it comes to that, But the offense coordinator there at Oklahoma State, Doug Meacham, he and I used to share an office at Jacksonville State.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
And so he's had been in some TCU and Houston, some different stops over the years. And actually, what was neat about that? I don't know what their last name was, but his grandparents, he used to tell me stories when he was 14 years old. He would come visit his grandparents who lived here in Martin.
Really?
Because I told him, he said, hey, congratulations on the Martin job. It was years ago. And I said, he said, I've been there before. And I said, you've been here before, really? He said, yeah, my grandparents grew up there. He said, I used to get a BMX, had a BMX bicycle, and I used to hang out by when I was 14 years old, hang out by the railroad track smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, down by Weldon Park. Yeah. How about that?
I don't know. So
it's a small world.
So how about that? So he's been here before, but he comes from TCU. And, brings, I'm sure, combination of what they've done on offense in the past and maybe some wrinkles from TCU.
Yeah, making the travels over there, leaving Wednesday and getting there that day. I think what's cool is you'll be able to walk through your your game plan, everything like that in the stadium beforehand. Hey, does that help you? I know I probably soak it in a little bit more. Like, wow, we're about to get this thing started.
Well,
how are the preparations for that?
Well, traditionally you don't really walk through your game plan at the opponent's stadium because, I mean, because if somebody came here, I probably would ask you, hey, did they run any double passes? While they were, so no, you just go when you go to the stadium like that. You're just letting your kids see it, and walk through the locker room. And for us, it's a bigger venue, so they can take as many pictures as they want and stuff like that. And you want to, so when you come out the next day, right, to play, you've kind of taken the newness off of it, and maybe the kids are, get focused a little quicker.
Like public speaking, you go up and you see the place that you've seen before, you kind of feel a little bit more comfortable.
No, that's a good, and those are things that I'm hoping that you learn from the standpoint when we go visit other venues and. You see a big name coach and my players see you running over there to get his autograph and stuff like that. No, you work with us, man. You're with us, man.
He's learning.
Every year I just have to learn. I just have to process a little bit more. I looked at Chris before he came over here. I said, we're about to get going, so just get ready. Just brace yourself. Please have my back. Like you didn't last year. You just let me get flamed up here.
Well, Chris and I have been together a long time.
Yeah, I feel like it's just
you're earning your stripes. And you're doing a good job at it. Okay. You're earning your stripes, but any weddings this year?
No weddings.
Yeah, you going to miss a game going to a wedding?
No, I'm not. I thought about that today. I'm not missing a wedding.
All right.
No, no weddings. Nothing in the spring, too, so,
Chuck's going to be around?
Chuck will be around. He'll be with us for that first road game.
Well, you know what? I think Chuck's making you better.
I think he is, too.
There we go.
Yes. Hey, Chuck and Chris, Hadler, they all do. Everybody. You make me better. I have to be on my toes. I have to be ready.
Well, this is you make and Chris used to do this too, but you two together are outstanding. And so, no, I do appreciate both of you. And, when you come up here in this press box, Chris, and I think about how far we've come over the years and stuff, that's kind of neat.
I wish we could have put you in the old press box just for one broadcast.
He's pretty light, so he would be okay. Any big people like me, man, be worried about that press box.
You told a story one time that if you felt the wind blew a wrong way, that thing would be coming down.
I tell people that, I remember when Chancellor Rakes was here, and I didn't want anything to happen to anybody, but he was a tall, big man too, and I know when he walked in the thing, it had to sway.
Yeah.
It had to sway, and I would think maybe this is the year that he says, no, this is unsafe. And he never would. He never would. He just kept going in there and going in there. And even the chancellor from Knoxville would come down, right, to one or two games, and I would think, this is the year they're going to say, no, y'all, it's mandated. I want that press box built. No, they just keep moving on.
Yeah, when the wind would blow, it would sway.
It would sway.
When bigger people would walk in it, it would move.
And so, but I appreciate, everybody that contributed and stuff. But it's great. It's I enjoyed it at night. We have night practices. It's a great, great view and stuff, and really dresses up our stadium.
Really, I'm going to give you a compliment for the success of our program, and you've been a part of it in administration also. But this place has changed a lot in the 20 years you've been here. A lot for the better.
Well, I appreciate that. It's Kurt's been fun to work with as far as we're always trying to even if it's a paint job, right? Keep things looking nice. You go all the way back to Phil Dane and different things. And even when Randy Barnes was here, I mean, he had a big contribution to what we did back in 2006, to get the stadium just up to par at the time. It wasn't anything extravagant, but I remember when you could see the mud, underneath the stadium. So, that in order to get players, guys, you got to have that. You want a good fan experience, you got to invest a little bit.
My last one for you. I don't want to make you late for your next thing. Okay, but this is my last one. I promise. You're playing pickleball.
Yeah.
This is what I've heard.
You're playing pickleball?
I did a couple times this summer.
Okay.
All right. And Josiah was impressive.
Oh, let me tell you, he's good. Right. He's really good.
And I used it against him sometimes because I'm like, you look way more athletic on that pickleball court than I need to see that movement, And so he takes it kind of like a backhanded compliment, and he's like, what he's telling me I'm a good pickleball player, but no, Josiah's impressive.
Yeah, he's really good. When can I play you one-on-one?
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think you want this smoke.
I think you do. I don't think you want this smoke right here. When is a time where it's just we can get Mac to mic us up, all right? We can go out there and we can play.
I don't know during the season, but I'm going to take you up on it now. You know, if a 54-year-old beats you.
You're not beating me.
If a 54-year-old beats you, I want you to shave your head.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we
Buzz
have to wait.
cut or bald?
I don't know. I mean.
Now I got to think of something that I want you to do.
No. First of all, the embarrassment of you beat me would be enough to live with. Okay,
You got to remember now, he was a Division I baseball and football.
I go out there, I compete with Division I athletes all the time.
54. Man. I mean, like I really do, shop at Skechers. You're in the wrong store. All right, but
I would say that his hand-eye coordination's great. His lateral movement's probably not as good as it was.
That's a good statement.
But do you play the kitchen or do you play back?
I don't even know all the rules now.
Okay.
I would be up 5 points on penalties alone.
Right, and but this you got to understand now. This will be like playing, backyard. There's no fouls. Backyard basketball.
Oh, so
there's no foul, so don't tell me, that's
no
a point. I'm standing there. I don't hear all that, right? You don't, you call your own fouls, and since I'm bigger than you, no foul.
Pickleball will be a contact sport.
We have to get it on video. We have to get it there.
Now, like I said, I beat Graham. And he's 16 years old. Now, I'm not telling you he's
a great athlete. You really beat him?
Yeah, I've got it on. I've got the taunting on video.
Okay.
Right, and so I think he, little unforced errors and stuff like that. Right, not my fault.
No, he's going to play smart and have better strategy. I'm sorry, Davis, but you don't have a chance with that.
No, I've got it.
I'm gonna talk
when you get old, you just start playing old man ways. It's wisdom.
Yeah, like old man basketball, right? And they just kind of do the little layups and stuff. Right?
No, it's not pretty, but you win.
I'm going to get a new paddle. I'm going to spin it. You won't even see it.
Now, I would struggle with. I saw Josiah serve. That's a problem.
Oh yeah, he gets low. He gets low with it.
That's a problem. If you're in that category, you're probably going to get me. But
Davis is not in that category.
I can't lose to you, Davis. I'm just sorry. I'll have to take a sabbatical from the season and keep practicing until I beat you.
No. We're going to have to schedule it. Well, Coach, thanks so much for your time. You're gracious with your time as always.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. I'll see you Wednesday when we fly out.
Are you going with us?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, be on time.
I will. I promise. I promise I will. Thanks to Coach Simpson.
Guys.
We'll sign off here on Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
Wrapping it up, the first episode of Season 3. I don't know what number total we're at. Total
for all the podcasts?
Total for all the podcasts. Because I want to have at least a
60s,
milestone.
60s? 70s?
Maybe in the 60s. I want to know how many we do a season because I want to 100th episode.
Okay.
Things like that. Maybe a celebration. Maybe we give stuff away.
Okay.
Who knows? Chris, first great episode.
Yeah.
Even though I made Coach Simpson a little late, but that's okay.
Yeah, no,
that's all right.
Now you're going to play him in pickleball.
Yeah, now I'm going to give him pickleball, and I'm going to win.
Okay.
Right? And then when I win, he has to show up to anything that we want to do. Anything.
We'll
Anytime.
See. I'm actually, if the odds are even right now, I think.
You think so? You've changed your mind?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a D1 football and baseball player.
Well, I'm out there playing with some of the FCA people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're D1 athletes, so.
Okay. That's true.
I have some. It's deep. It's hit. I always tell people it's deep. It's hidden. That athletic ability. It's way down in there.
Okay.
But it's there.
Okay.
So don't worry.
Don't take it lightly.
Yeah. No. Don't worry about it. All right. So we will sign off now here from Skyhawk Sports Talk. First episode. Make sure to tune in next week. And if you missed anything about what's going on in the season, go back to the intro of the video, and we'll break down everything that's going to happen in this week. But for Chris Brinkley, myself, Davis Gregory, all our great coaches, so gracious with their time, we thank you so much, and we sign off here from the Champions Club in the UT Martin Press Box, saying God bless.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.